the name of this presentation is From Lead to Contract. So as you start talking to folks, whether it's your first time or follow-up, whatever it might be, it's all about how do we get them under contract, and then all the steps in between. So pre-approval, going over different loan options, budgets, things of that nature. We'll kind of go through all of that stuff. As you have been doing some business planning, hopefully a lot of you were there yesterday, and as you guys are starting to grow your leads list or call list and creating follow-ups, let me hear either in the group chat, let me hear either something that's going really, really well that you could share with the group, or two, what are you having difficulty or what's a tough objection right now?
I've had one of the ladies that came to my open house Saturday. She said that she was looking to buy in 6 months, but she didn't want to do the pre-approval. So I was trying to explain to her that she needs to start the process now. And her objection was, well, it only lasts for so long. And I told her that it would still expedite the process when she found something. So that was an objection that I was getting.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, I think that's just one of those things of like, hey, I don't want my credit run. I don't want people calling me. I don't want this. They don't want things to just start blowing up. But I think connecting with a lender partner, somebody local, somebody in here, real important in the beginning to, one, I can subside those fears. So, hey, listen, would love to just fill out an application. Whether you buy now or whether you buy in 2 years, I have everybody in between. Some people are literally in my follow-up, or they start looking at 6 months. They're looking again, 6 months. Sometimes it's 2 to 3 years. So us getting information now is just building the initial foundation for getting them what they need. The pre-approval, I just update every time. So if people are like, hey, I'm not looking to buy until next year, great. Let's see where you are now. If your income changes, we'll update that when you get back out on the search. If credit changes, we're going to run their credit every 120 days. So if they have that objection, hey, I would love to look at your credit now to see how I can help it. If it's in a great standing, that's awesome. It's not really going to affect anything. If you need work on it, wouldn't you like to know what you need to work on? That way, in 6 months, you've already done it. And what we find is those people that learn now, they're more prepared in 6 months versus, hey, I pull their credit in 4 or 5 months and they need 6 months of work on their credit. And now we're pushing them out a year when their goal was 6 months. So I still then say, hey, would you like me to run credit or not? And they can say, even in the application, credit authorization, no. At that point that they're filling out the application, now we've already had a conversation with them and put them at ease. So if somebody fills out an application today and they're not looking till, let's say, spring, I will say that. I said, let's look now, let's see what we need to work on and get your scores better. I won't touch your credit again until we're out there looking, or maybe it's February or March. And at that time, we'll just update your credit, your income, and refocus on your goals that are important. Again, the biggest thing that we're going to end up going back to is, what are their goals? Like, what's your monthly budget? What is your savings budget? And then if you have this much money in savings or you have this much to spend monthly, where's their flexibility? As I start to educate folks, I'll say, here's what rates are at 7%, kind of now. Here's what rates are at 9%. Will the market get that bad? What's that payment going to look like? Here's what 5% looks like. So if we get you in now and then within a year or two, we do like a no-cost refinance, Okay, so we're not going to do origination costs or underwriting fee. We'll do a no cost refinance for those folks and then see, all right, well, what's 5% look like? Is that more of a monthly goal that fits for you and you're able to stretch it a little bit for now? Okay, so Cynthia, what were some ahas in that, or what's something you could steal? I know I kind of rambled for a second on how to make that introduction or put them at ease.
I was just writing it as you said it for a script to see how I could put a script together. I could say the lender will look at how your credit looks now and to help get you ready if there's something that needs to be improved upon. You would have to give them consent to run your credit, but at least get educated on what the process is.
Yeah, and even if we want to simplify that a little bit more, Cynthia, it's like, hey, listen, I don't know what any of those things look like. That's something a lender is going to look like. I want to introduce you to somebody that, you know, we trust in the market. Hey, Ebony. And then also follow up with, hey, why don't we just get them on a call and just introduce? You could tell them your fears. You could tell them what you're thinking. Let's just have a quick conversation. If you don't want to fill out the application yet, great. That's fine. We'll talk to Patrick, though, get him your number. You'll have his cell phone. You can reach out with questions, nights, weekends, etc. Okay. And then they're like, cool, just a quick 5-minute chat. No big deal. And then I'll kind of go through some of those objections, and that takes it a little bit off of your plate. The cool thing then, too, is as we're talking together, whether it's a Zoom, whether it's on the phone, whether it's in here at the office, we're starting to build that rapport. You could start stealing some things that I've learned from other agents and then from other great lenders. We're all kind of working and stealing things together. And again, we're just having conversations and being able to help educate people about it. Time's always going to change. Rates are going to change. Programs are going to change. So it's all about just learning those pain points, learning what their budget is, and then how to add some things into that to fit. So Cynthia, I wouldn't even put so much pressure on a script of just, hey, I would love to at least just introduce, get a call, get Patrick on the phone. Let's talk about that. See what you think. Okay. Ebony, did you have something, or were you just giving a shout from the crowd?
Just giving a shout from the crowd. I apologize.
No problem. So Cynthia, thank you for being brave. Anybody else have something that's either working really, really well for them as they're getting more leads into their pipeline, or anything that is kind of like an objection? Cynthia had a great one, so thank you for sharing.
Hi, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Carell, and I just noticed that there is someone that started after me, and she's had like rapid success, but she told me she goes off of some list. Like it's not even, she doesn't even promote herself. So I want to know what the difference is between, you know, blasting yourself over social media compared to just going off a list.
So when you say list, do you know what kind of list it is? Is it something that was shared from like the education or the trainings, or is she just calling people down a list, or what?
It's word for word, I really can't remember. I have to look at the text messages, but she has really, like, she sold something, and then 3 days later she sold something else. I'm not gonna put her on blast, but she's doing very well. And
if you want to talk later, we can. I don't know what list, or if you want to talk with me privately about who the agent is. My guess is that they either work for a team and
Oh, no, she's definitely on a team, and I also
they probably have leads that she can go through.
yeah.
That would be my guess, but we could definitely talk about this outside of this meeting if you want.
Yeah.
But it's all about lead gen, you know?
Yeah, Cora,
Yeah.
I think if you wanna share with me privately as well, you know, shoot me a text. Hey, let's chat for 5 minutes, share some of those things.
Trash.
With this
I don't like the way this is.
presentation being, you know, 45 minutes, I don't want to take too much specifics, but let me know some of those things that are going well specifically, and we'll dive in. I'm going to try and share my screen here. Post disabled participant screen share. Rachel.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
Sorry, I am kind of techie, but it's easier for me to steal the legacy computer. So Rachel is helping me. Okay. All right, so what you should see is a pretty generic home buyer guide. I will send this.
You might want to assume so you can skip out so you can see it all.
Oh, golly. So there was like
that one again.
3 things brought up.
Right, they're all in that same, they should all be in that same thing. So from there, they're at the top, those tabs. But I would probably, because it's at like 116, they probably can't see the whole thing. You could zoom out. That's a minute. The other one. Yeah. And they could see the whole.
Oh, cool. Okay. But this should be good. So this is something that I send out to folks. I can also give it to you guys, but let's say you get somebody on the phone. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, it's been great talking with you. It sounds like we're looking to buy in the next 3 to 6 months. Have you been pre-approved yet? No? Awesome. I would love to connect you with one of my in-house lenders who we know and trust. If you already have a lender, I would still love to introduce you to them because, again, they work in our market center. They work with all our agents. We have them in there because we know and trust them. Again, if this is a second opinion, that's fine. You guys can compare. You can take a look at everything, and he or she can help educate you on what's going to be the best decision for you. Is it cool if I connect you with Patrick right now? Great. All right. Let's either get them on the phone. Let's set up an appointment. Do you text? Do you email? Tell me a little bit more about that. Oh, awesome. You're texting. Cool. You know what? I'm going to start a group text thread. I'm going to send it to you and I'm going to send it to Patrick. I'm going to introduce you and you guys can kind of take it from there. Okay. Does that all sound pretty easy for you guys? Do you have some sort of script in your toolbox to introduce folks? You guys in the crowd? Thanks for coming. Working on it. Yeah. So again, you don't have to be the expert on anything. Just build the rapport that you already have with them and then kind of push that and have that warm lead for us so we can reach out. So now I'm reaching out. Hey, would love to hear about your goals as you're looking to purchase. And then I'll just go through some of the scripts. Are you looking to buy now or are you looking to buy down the road? Tell me what's important to you. Do you have a sales price that's in mind? And I'm just starting to like trigger some of these questions to write notes and take some information down and also build that trust. Okay, we all know people work with folks that you know, trust. What's the other one? Know, like, and trust. Okay, hopefully they'll like me. If they don't like me, then again, that's why you have a couple different lenders in your tool belt. Okay, hopefully local, hopefully in-house here.
I put that in the chat so we have it.
Nice. So this direct mortgage loans mortgage guide, after my conversation, I'll also send this out to folks. It's really just a way of, hey, here's our expertise. Here's people in the process that we have on our team, and it's all in-house, it's all local. Okay, so we have our own loan coordinator, processor, database manager. So as soon as you guys, I'm kind of going off on a tangent. As soon as you guys introduce, I will send this over to my assistant, and we're going to do two things. We're going to tag them for Keller Williams Legacy, and we're going to tag them as an individual agent to you guys. So let's say I get the application, I get all their stuff, I get some documents, pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements, and I've officially pre-approved them. Every Thursday, we actually send out individual emails to folks, say, hey, just checking to see this week if you're going to look at any houses over the weekend. If there's any houses top of mind, we would love to update some numbers, have a conversation about what a competitive offer might look like if you really enjoy the house, and the agent is copied on that email, okay? So hopefully you're learning the ropes on how to organize your CRM or database. Know that anything that comes to us is getting filed, it's getting tagged for you, and then we're organizing all the feedback off of that. If somebody doesn't have good credit when we first find that out, no problem, cool, you're at a 575 credit score. I run some simulations, and in 6 months, we can get you to a 650, okay? So all those notes go in the system. Liz, my assistant, will reach out with an email. Hey, it's been 3 months. What are some of those credit repairs that you've been doing? What are some questions that you might have about that? We don't want to look at your credit score again, but we will in 2 months to see all the work that you've done and see if you're ready to buy then, okay? Scroll through here. This is cool because it has some little generic stuff out to the borrowers about each loan product. I also have a reference guide that I can send to Rachel, and she can send out to the crew. I was going to get that, but I forgot to upload that. So that's more for you guys. It's like a one-page cheat sheet if you guys want to use that. But again, when in doubt, just make the introduction. And then here's something that's really big. People are like, well, what do I need to send in? And why do I need to send that stuff? The difference between getting somebody pre-qualified, they could basically just fill in the application, I could run their credit, and then we're going with what's on the application for their income and assets. I've seen people not necessarily fake their income, but maybe not know what a good qualifying income is. So they could be a business owner, they write a ton of stuff off, and their income's not what they think. They get a ton of overtime, and they didn't really factor that in, and all of a sudden their income goes up. So let us kind of be the professionals and don't disqualify anybody before they actually go through the process. To get pre-approved, we're going to need income and asset documents on top of their credit. So recent pay stubs, W-2s, tax returns. If they own properties, we'll need definitely tax returns. We might need a lease and stuff like that. So we'll collect all those things and then get them, quote unquote, pre-approved. As far as pre-approval letters are concerned, I can send one out that's generic that just says, hey, you've been pre-approved. But for me, it's all going to be about tailoring to the specific offer that you guys want to send out. So one of your guys' names, sorry. Tiffany and Mike. All right, so let's say Tiffany or Mike, they're in the room here. Let's say they have a buyer, we've already pre-approved them. And what are some of those follow-ups and ways to connect back to me before you go out looking? So Mike, let's start with you. Your buyer says, hey, I want to take a look at this property. They've already been pre-approved, so awesome, cool. What I would do is say, send a group text. So Mike will send it to the buyer and to me. Hey, we want to go look at this property tomorrow. Patrick, what do you think? What do the numbers look like? I'll go ahead, update the taxes, update what the rate might be because it's changing every day. And then have that conversation before you guys even go out. Does it fit their monthly budget? Does it fit cash to close? Is this something we can get seller credit on? Can we get seller credit to help buy down the rate? All those things I'd like to talk with the agent and the buyer, make sure we're on the same page. So if they like it, we're making an offer right away, or offers aren't being accepted until Sunday. So let's talk about what a good offer might be. Then, as a good agent, you're reaching out to the listing agent. Hey, what's important for the sellers? Okay. How many offers are in hand? They might lie a little bit, but you're just gaining more and more information about what the seller's looking for, and we can be as competitive as possible when making that offer. Go through this. So that kind of goes into the conversation, application, contract, all this stuff, the processing. I can go into more details about that, but
Patrick, I have a question.
yeah, from you all in the room, I want to hear from you, and if I'm going too fast, or questions.
Okay, I have a question.
Thanks, Vivian.
So you mentioned that before taking a client out, that you could actually go through running numbers. And so, we have to schedule showings. I think that's great to know, but how quickly could you turn something like that around? How far in advance would we have to tell you we're showing something or planning to show something?
Yeah, I mean, as much notice, I think there's a little bit of training that we need to do for like our buyers out there, right? Hey, I want to go see this today at 4 o'clock and it's 2:30. Like, we're not going to have numbers then, but if we've already had some conversations previously about properties that are 250 and this house is like 240, we're going to have an idea that we can at least go look. But as soon as you can create, a lot of folks will send me the link through HomeSnap or HomeLight or what's it called? HomeSnap. Some people use something else. They'll literally send me the listing in a group text and be like, hey, Patrick, we're going out tomorrow. Can you run some numbers for it? And I'll have it at least before you go out. I'll try and get it right away if I can. I'll try and knock it out later that night. So I at least, and what I'll do is just pretty generic. Hey, here's what your monthly payment's going to be. And here's what your cash to close will be. And we can discuss those after you take a look and see if an offer is going to be made. Does that help, Vivian?
Yeah, that's great.
Again, it's different for everybody. Maybe that's an email, like maybe, hey, we're going to take a look at this property, and you send that in a group email. Everybody's a little different. Mike?
So my question is, what would like sort of, process look like so I have clients that they're using USAA as their lender.
Okay.
And they want to see it showing like tomorrow.
Okay.
Right. How would that sort of would I be able to get numbers from like the USAA? Would I come to you and talk about getting numbers for that particular listing, or because I haven't given any numbers yet? They, like you said, they want to see the numbers.
Yeah. So question to the audience here was, I have a buyer, they've talking with the USAA, they have a pre-approval or don't. So they've talking to another.
Their first client. So.
Yeah. So this is a great thing. Hey, listen, you've talked to your big bank, you have USAA. I personally have USAA. I'm not throwing them under the bus, but banking, insurance, life, stuff like that is probably more their expertise. Lending, you're probably not going to be able to get them on a night call after 5, or maybe you will. And on the weekends, you probably won't be able to get a pre-approval. I'd love to introduce you to one of our in-house lenders that can get that information. I can text or call right away. We can get numbers, and we're not waiting on that. Is it cool if I give them your information, or if I introduce you in a text or email? If you've already been through the process with USAA, you can do it just as quickly. They can run credit in the same 30 or 45 days. Let them at least be a second set of eyes so we know we're getting you taken care of fast and we're not waiting on an 800 number or whatever it might be. Fair? So if that's the case, make sure you have my cell phone, text me.
I'll talk to you after.
We'll get them the application and get it knocked out. So great question there. Thanks, Mike. Vivian, I answered your questions, right?
Yes, thank you.
Here's some bits of information. Again, these are very generic that I will send this 6-7 page flyer out to them. Things about the loan amount, interest on the loan, property taxes, homeowners insurance, all the stuff that goes into a payment. And then this is a pretty cool monthly budget worksheet. Again, I don't always see when you get a credit report, is anything on a line of credit. So, you know, student loans, credit cards, car payments, any other kind of small bank loans, stuff like that. Bills, cell phone bills, stuff like that isn't in there. So it's important that we kind of figure out what their budget is overall so that we're not, for lack of a better word, making them house poor or getting them into a house that it doesn't feel like a comfortable payment. The last thing we want to do is set somebody up for failure and they end up foreclosing on their house. We haven't really done them a good service. So this should be, Rachel said she has this in the, you can download this, steal it, share it. I'm going to show you one other thing. You guys can download this, but this is a pretty cool tool. We'll have to get together one-on-one, but basically what we need is, you know, your headshot, your information, and I can send a, oh, my phone's over there. I could send a mobile link app to you guys that basically has, if I scroll to page 2, it has the realtor and then it has me as a lender, and you can literally share the app to the clients. They can play with the different tools. You can keep in line with, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer have filled out the application. They've uploaded documents. They're now officially pre-approved. If we're under contract, you'll get notifications on, you know, their loan has been in processing. Now it's underwritten and conditionally approved, clear to close. Every step of the way, you guys are in the loop. But this is really effective for as you're house searching too. You're not being boggled down with every single thing. Hey, I want to check out this house. What's this price? There's a mortgage calculator. If you kind of see right here. And they could put in sales price, down payment, loan type. Pretty cool. So if this is something that you want, definitely reach out. You can give me your headshot. You can get that. We can send the link right to you and you can download that app. And then we could just go through it one-on-one and share it before you send out to clients. But for you guys, if I do get a lead, I will send this link just for my app. And again, you're going to be copied on a lot of steps through the process, but it won't be the co-branded version until we actually have that together.
I have a question. I have a comment. Something that I feel like we must be careful on the timing we share and on the type of person, type of client, customer you are sharing this with, because it may scare them. It is loaded. There are things that they don't understand, and it may just scare them, and they will just drop and say, you know what, this is for another day, or another time. So that's my feeling.
Yeah, I think you need to read the audience, Therese. I think you're exactly right. If you introduce me to somebody, I'm not automatically saying, hey, here's the application link, fill that out. I'll ease into it and read the audience and the sense of urgency, right? If they're like, I'm looking at places tomorrow and I want to get pre-approved right this second.
Exactly.
Mike had that. I'm going to be like, hey, fill out this application. We'll have a conversation before I touch it, but get things rolling. If they're more of like 6-8 months down the year, let's start with a conversation. Let's start with different examples and make them feel at ease, then get them to fill out the application. I can do it over the phone. These are just easy and simple ways, and adding technology tools to make the process a lot easier. But if anybody feels scared or step back, we'll just slow it down and just kind of baby step the process a little more. You go to the chat box here. See,
It's me.
Cool.
Okay, another question that I have. What do you tell somebody who tells you, a couple, and one person tells you, oh, listen, we are looking, we are just browsing, we are just looking. We were about to really engage, but I just lost my job. So we are thinking of doing it next year. What do I tell him? I tell that person.
Yeah, so I would say the best thing for that is, listen, whether you're looking, if you don't have a job now, if you're looking in 2 years, it's still really good to have our team working for you. When I say our team, it's going to be my lender partner. It's going to be my title person. It's whoever you want to throw in there. We're working here for you. Okay. Patrick will talk about, if you lost your job, you know, how many months in between, if you're not employed, is it okay? Or once you do get a new job, let's get updated pay. I can go through all those numbers, but for me to start talking with them now, it's better to have all the options and all the information, and then we just educate as they go. So if somebody's unemployed, can they buy now? No. Can they start having conversations and we give them the tools to equip them so when they are ready? Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
The last thing you want to do is, like, we disqualify them, all right, before we're even starting, and then also discourage them to the point that they can't start doing those building blocks to make them successful. Because if they just start looking again, they're already behind the 8 ball, and it's going to be so much more difficult. So we can help them along the way, whether it's credit, employment, income, savings. We can just get a plan together and educate them along the way.
Thanks for saying that, because I've come across a lot of people who have concerns about their credit and feel like they cannot buy a house because their credit history and what they've been through. And so you guys are okay with working with people wherever they are. That's great.
Absolutely. There might be things that are really, again, we're not credit experts, but we have tools where we get their credit to help educate them and help them get their scores up. And we'll tell them, or like, hey, listen, this is a real individual case that I might not be able to handle. I could tell you to do A, B, and C. There might be somebody out there, and we build our team again. Here's our credit expert that I go to. I know they've done so many transactions where we've helped some people in 6 months, maybe 2 years. Like, never want to disqualify, because they will always be able to buy. It's just a matter of when.
Patrick, oh, go ahead.
We have about 10 minutes, so I'd love the questions. Keep them coming, and then I'll make sure I stop pretty promptly at 11:45.
My question is concerning between the different companies. Is there anything that direct mortgage loan that you all specialize in over primary residential, or do you all provide the same services?
So the biggest thing is we're both local, we're both in-house. We both pretty much do the same exact things. Things are going to be very similar. There may be some small nuances or some individual programs that just kind of pop up that we might have before they have, or vice versa. They might have a different kind of grant program that's unique to them. But overall, it's the same. So when in doubt, it's always like, hey, here's Dan from PRMI and here's Patrick from DML. I would love that you talk with both of them. They've built great rapport in our office here. They work with tons of different agents. See who you like better. See who's helping you along the way. Like if they're working with one of us, it's a win because we're spending time, we're helping you guys with your marketing, with your networking and all that stuff. So either way, it's fine. There's not going to be much of a difference.
Thanks.
Got it. Any other questions? So we've got the app. Okay, I would love to share that with you. Get a co-branded app. You can email or text me, get emails, and we can co-brand that and share it. It's probably my favorite tool that I use and really awesome. So I can continue working on the go with lots of folks. Let's see if there's anything else that was up here. This you can download. This again is something that you can send to your buyers or, hey, I'm going to introduce you to Patrick. Here's his home buyer guide. It's something that you can read, but I would love for you guys to set up a conversation or a consult or a Zoom meeting. Any other questions, objections?
I have a question. Do you allow any co-branding on the guides?
For sure, we could do that. So either one of us, we have marketing teams where if you're like, I want to save this just in my portal, so I'm sending it out and your logo's at the bottom or whatever, we can make like we can adapt it. So maybe it's this first page instead of direct mortgage loans, mortgage guide, we can have like, well, I know, you could have like my information here and and your information there. We also have individual flyers. So if there's something specific that you want or you want to tailor towards, you know, a recent job you had before becoming a realtor, or if you want it to be about, you know, a certain neighborhood and we want to co-brand a flyer, we can do that. It doesn't have to be this big guide. We could do like a one-pager. So anything that you have an idea of, you're like, I would love to partner with, open houses, we can do open houses, stuff like that. So anything that you have an idea on, shoot me a message and we can brainstorm. Give me a call. I know a couple people. I saw Marsha on here, Marsha Holland on here. She was like, I have an open house on Friday or Saturday. Is there anything that we might be able to do? And she sent me the listing. I was able to do it real quick into the MLS, get it uploaded and send it to her. And she was able to print copies real quick for the open house. So lots of different tools. If you have an idea, don't be scared to share it or run it by us. How about you guys? Any other questions out in the? Yes, the question was any first-time home buying grants, anything out there for first-time home buyers? I'll tackle that two ways. There are different programs that we have that are kind of generic for everybody. Maryland mortgage program is probably the most common and best used because they don't run out of funds, right? So certain ones that are either like a county specific or city specific, sometimes they can get depleted, and once it's gone till the following fiscal year. There are pretty good ones that are specific to the city. So if you have a city buyer that's first-time home buyer, there's some really good like true grants that are out there that they might be able to utilize. As far as first-time home buyers or just home buyers in general, if you guys want to do any kind of like Zoom chat, if you have 30 people in your database and you want to say, hey, I just want to have this lender conversation with you. I've done this a ton where it's this kind of conversation we send it out to 30 people that are in your database and maybe 5 show up. But all of a sudden now we know they're a little bit more serious. I can get a one-on-one consult with them. We can get a, 1, 2, 3 consult with them. And it's just a much better way than just constantly calling. So if it's something you just want to throw out there, and we'll do like a 6 to 6:45 at night or something like that, that might be faster than doing this whole elaborate in-person home buying seminar. But we've done really, really successful ones like that too. So whatever you like, we can brainstorm together, and we have the team and the assets for you to help out.
Questions for so again, like my clients, they're gonna use like a VA program because it's better 100% disability.
Yeah.
Is there anything that I should know about as far as like dealing with that specific program?
Yeah. So good question. The client that he was talking about before, they're using USAA because they are a veteran. So again, not a VA loan is just a loan type. It's not a USAA product.
Right.
So like anybody can do a VA. Well, most everybody can do a VA loan. He mentioned one key thing in there that said the person's has disability or 100% disabled. Key things there are we would get what's called a COE or certificate of eligibility. And that disability, if they filed all their paperwork through their DD 214 and all that stuff with the VA, there's a funding fee for VA loans, just like there is with an FHA or a USDA because they're government loans. That funding fee is waived. So if they're using it for the first time, their funding fee on a VA loan is 0.
What about the second and third?
0.
Really?
Yeah. So again, that'd be something that I would like probe and ask questions on, but specific for your need there, yeah. That
is it because of the 100%?
I'll talk to you about other details, like other veterans that get VA loans. They can actually, after they've moved into the house, they could file different paperwork to get like property tax exemption. It's not something that's done with the lender directly, but after the fact, they can reach out through the VA and file paperwork to get their taxes either cheaper or not paid at all. All right, we're like 1 minute left. Anything else that's super top of mind or pressing here as we get closer to the weekend? Hopefully you guys are setting up some appointments, whether they're buyer consults or listing appointments. If you need any help or any chats, please reach out. I'm happy to go through those conversations with you alongside and then guide your folks in the right direction.
Thank you.
First responders grant.
First responders grant qualifications. Thanks, Dawn. I don't, there's not like a specific loan product that DML has. If there are grants out there, it might be something where it's, hey, you get pre-approved and then we file for the grant, like MMP. I know that they'll qualify for MMP, but we qualify them with direct mortgage loans. And then we run all the information through MMP and get their loan assistance program or grant directly to us. So if there's a specific one, Dawn, that you have, shoot that over to me. I'd love to look into it a little bit more and see how we can help folks directly. I know we do some things like we're the lead partner with the Fraternal Order of Police. So we give a $500 credit towards their closing costs. So if they're a part of that, I know we've partnered in the past with different small groups where we might pay for money towards their appraisal or something along those lines. But if you have an actual grant program through a site, shoot that over to me. And the other is a firefighter. Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to talk to you more about that, Dawn. let's connect.
And do you service residential and commercial?
We are not commercial, and neither is PRMI.
Okay.
So we just focus on residential mortgage needs. It's funny, commercial is like a whole different guidelines, different beast there. It's almost like a different certification. All right. Nothing else. I really appreciate you guys coming out. I thought this was a great crowd. I'm going to be in more of the scripting calls, and if any of you ever want to get on like a Zoom chat together and just share frustrations, share positives, get a small group, I'm happy to do those kind of things and bounce some ideas off. So propose a time, or we could do something here in the office and we can all collaborate and help each other out.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot.